Hello, welcome back to my channel. I am just finishing up eating some berries, which is what's going to lead me into the next video, which is counting our macros. So I'm mostly going to talk about how many calories you want to intake, whether you want to bulk or cut or maintain weight, and then I'll also, talk about why we do it and what my routine is. I will walk you through the app that I use too, and then I'll put the link in the description of the app that I use. There's two apps that you can use, so I'll put the link for both of them in there and you can decide which one works best for you. I've been counting my macros for a long time now, and it helps me personally. You don't have to do it all the time, but it helps me know what's in my food. So I had no idea before I started counting my macros, like what's a carb, what's a fat, what's protein. But there are 3 different macronutrients, which is what macros are essentially, that fuel our body. And so they're carbohydrates, fats, and protein. And I eat all of them. Some people only do fats and protein, some people only do carbs and proteins. It's whatever diet you're on. I think it is best personally for myself to eat everything, because if you starve your body of carbs or starve it of fat, once you start eating those again, which you probably most likely will at some point, your body's not going to be used to eating carbs, and it's going to gain a bunch of weight from eating carbs, and it just doesn't do any justice for your metabolism. So yeah, I think this will be helpful, hopefully, for all of you. And I think that it's essential if you have a fitness goal in mind, whether it's bulking or cutting. I think those two, mostly bulking and cutting. If you're just maintaining your weight and you know what you're eating, I think you don't have to do it all the time, because it does take up a little bit of time. It's not as hard as people say, though. I've been maintaining for a while now, and I haven't really seen that much progress, so I'm gonna go through the steps with you guys of what my goal is, how you can put it in the app, and how you can change around your nutritional settings in the app so that you can make it your own. You have to have the premium version of the app that I use to be able to change your nutritional settings, but if you don't want to buy it, it's only like $20 a year. If you don't want to buy it, then it's no big deal. You can just put in the food that you want and see how many carbs, how many fat, how many protein, how much is in that food, and your macros might not be what you want them to be, though. So that's why I suggest getting the premium. So then you can just alter them and use what I'm showing you to put into the app. So then it's just easy. You can just do it in the app. You don't have to write all of your stuff down, which was what I was doing in the earlier stages of fitness, was writing everything down, and it's just not as easy as using an app, obviously. So technology has made it really easy, and this app also has recipes in it as well. I'm no chef, like I hate cooking, but I have, in this quarantine, I have been kind of branching out, trying to cook new things. Everything that I've cooked is all right, but I can see how, chefs and cooks go about changing their recipes to make them better. So I will be posting some of my recipes on my Instagram page, on my highlight story. So if anybody wants to follow me and subscribe, I will have my Instagram account linked, so you can look on there and find some recipes. Hopefully they're helpful. Some of them aren't healthy, some of them are, but most of them are healthy. You got to have a little fun every once in a while. So you don't need to eat super strict all the time. I say, have a cheat meal, have a cheat day. I don't think you're going to be happy with your life if you're eating, specifically this, specifically that every single day. I'm not programmed that way. I love food, and I think that everyone should enjoy it every once in a while. So don't feel bad if you have a Snickers, have a Reese's, have a piece of cake every once in a while, because things are worth celebrating. I don't think you need to be that strict about it. I am pretty strict, I will say, but if you are working towards a goal, though, you need to be pretty consistent. Like I said, you can have a cheat day, but if you have that cheat day and then you're just craving it the next day, that's what is a problem for me. So I tend to only try to have one cheat day, one cheat meal. If you don't want to risk defeating your day, I would suggest having one cheat day and then the next day getting right back on track to your program, to what you're working towards. So it'll also be helpful for you to be able to read labels on food. So I'll bring in some stuff and we can look at it and see what fat, what protein, carb is in the food, and then the calories. The calories matter, but we're more so looking at the macronutrients. If the fat is super high in something, then obviously you'll want to eat more carbs later on. And I always try and look for stuff with a little bit more protein, but you don't need to eat a ton of protein to get muscle. I think that protein honestly makes my stomach not do so great. So if you're looking to just get as much protein in as you can, for bulking and cutting, you essentially eat the same amount of protein. So you don't need to eat so much protein when you're bulking to gain muscle. It's all about them working together, and I eat more carbs in a day than I do protein or fat. So I love carbs, and I don't think it's a bad thing to eat them. I have stayed pretty trim eating them. So if you do have a problem and you're, basing it off of eating too many carbs, I think it's probably the type of carbs that you're eating. Carbs can be great. Fruits are carbs, and they help me, digest food way faster than I have berries every morning, and they help me just digest my body, digest everything so much faster. So bread, I don't think we need to stay away from bread. I love bread, and as long as you're not putting like a whole ton of butter or something on it, I think you'll be fine. I usually do like toast, avocado, eggs. Avocado is a fat as well, so I don't think people need to be afraid of fat as long as it's healthy fat. And everyone can splurge and have bad things too, like I said. So if you are gaining weight, it's probably due to the fact that you're eating too many calories, not too many carbs, fats, or protein. It might be both, but your calorie intake is an important thing. That's why tracking it is great. But I think that people misunderstand counting calories and just counting calories, not counting the macros, which is why counting macros helps so much. And they just get you to the place where you need to be, essentially. So I guess I'll start by talking about bulking. So when you bulk, you want to increase your calories. And I would suggest, staying the same for about like a week or two. And if you stay the same, I would suggest maybe picking up the calories a little bit. So each week, maybe put on 100 more calories to 200 more calories, and then until you get to your final goal. And then once you're at the bulking phase, which, guys, you need carbs when you bulk. The muscles and the body, they need carbs to grow. So I would suggest please not straying away from carbs. So once you're done bulking, which is, bulking, like I said in one of my earlier videos, bulking's kind of scary because you gain weight, but it's a good weight as long as you're eating healthy fats, healthy carbs, healthy proteins. Everything you know, you're not going to be wanting to eat cake every single day to bulk. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you need to up your calories by the healthy macros. Healthy macronutrients will help you grow those muscles. When you bulk, you're building that muscle, and then when you're cutting, you are essentially cutting that fat away, but not the muscle. So don't drop your calories too low because it will affect your metabolism. That's why everybody does it slow. If you're bulking and you want to lose a bunch of weight after you bulk, you're not going to want to stop eating 500 calories because your metabolism is just not going to know what to do, and then you might gain weight from that. So, you know, counting your macros is amazing for knowing what you're eating to keep your metabolism in line. And if you're not doing that, sometimes you don't know what you're eating, and then your metabolism might go off the wall if you're not eating anything one day and then eating a bunch the next day. So you want to keep it as consistent as possible. So if you want to lose weight, please don't stop eating. It's not going to help you. I think not eating is super unhealthy, and nobody should have to deal with that. It's stressful, and I don't know how people can't eat. I don't know how. I mean, I know there's people out there with problems. I do understand that. But I love food. I love food, man. It's good. Can't control myself sometimes. So if you're trying to lose weight, I would suggest not cutting your calories, but increasing your movement. So increasing your calories burned. So adding cardio into your workouts. I would suggest not dropping your calories just because you're not seeing results if you're not doing all that you already can with your physical activity. So if you are doing a lot of physical activity, still not seeing results, maybe drop them a little bit. But I always say the more calories, the better, because your metabolism is going to be beautiful if you eat as much food as you can. And everybody's body's different, so it doesn't have to be the same, but eat your food, guys. Eat your food. Food is great. Food is amazing. I love food. I have been I'm one for making healthy recipes that taste like what I would eat that's not healthy. So I think it's helped a lot with me trying to go through this because I love sugar, I love sweets, I love cupcakes, everything. And so it's very hard for me to not have that in my life. And so if you create healthy recipes that taste like, you know, they're not going to taste exactly the same. Obviously a Reese's is going to taste better than, you know, some protein balls or something like that. But at least you get a little bit of that sweetness, a little bit of that sweet tooth. I have a huge sweet tooth. My dad has a huge sweet tooth. So we eat when we have our bad days, just amazing. But you know, you can't always do that all the time. Once you have those things, you'll crave them. So that's why I always suggest to people, even at work, I'll tell my friends know this. I'll tell them if they're about to eat a pancake, if they've been saying, oh, I shouldn't do it or something like that. I'm like, don't do it. Don't do it. You got to keep your friends on track. So summertime's coming up, and I don't try and control people. I just think it's good to stay positive for other people, and you know, it's hard to do it by yourself. So if you have a buddy to count your food with, or you know, start eating healthy with, it's good to just keep them in line and keep them on track as well as them keeping you on track. So like I said, don't feel discouraged when you have to put in that piece of cake to your app. Or that's the good thing about the app, because once you put it in, you see that sad face, you don't want to see that sad face again. So I think it's a good way to, you know, challenge yourself, and the next day try not to crave it, even though, you know, I think about cake every day. But anyways, you got to do what you got to do. You got to get those gains, and there are, so many ways to do it. And this is just such a good way to track your progress. So yeah, I'm just ready to get that summer bod. Fueling your body like it's the most important thing to you. Not even that much about the way you physically look, but the way you physically feel. So that's why counting macros is so good. You learn what works for you. If you're, lactose intolerant, you can see, if you don't know you are, you can see like, oh, I've been eating all this. Maybe I'll cut this out, see how I feel. And you just find the foods that work for you as well. So what was I saying? Yeah, if you feel like you want to start doing this, but you say, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it the next day. If you just start today, procrastination isn't going to get you anywhere in life, guys. Start doing what you need to do, and it's not that hard. It's pretty damn easy. Don't make excuses. If you feel like it's taking too much of your time, that's fine. I would just suggest maybe learning more about what you're putting in your body. You don't even have to download the app, but just like looking up what's in peanut butter, what's in, pineapple, what's in eggs. It's all important, and it's all feeding your body. So why wouldn't you want to know what's going inside your body? Let's jump right into it. Okay, so as you see here, I have the amount of grams you intake per calorie for a carb and a protein and a fat. So 4 grams are in carbs and protein, and then the fat is a little higher. So that's why I always eat a little less fat than carbs in my macros. So I am putting the percentages, the ranges you want to use when you're counting your macros. So carbs are going to be a little bit of a higher percentage. Fat is the lesser of the percentage. And then protein is anywhere in between 10 to 30%. You want everything added together to equal 100%. So you get to choose between these ranges. It really depends on what your goal is, so it'll be different for everyone. So as I was saying, it really depends on everyone's specific goal. Everyone's going to have a different goal. So how we find that goal is we have to find our calories we need to intake in order to either bulk or gain or maintain. So a formula here that will get you those calories you want to intake. So we take your weight and we actually multiply it by whether you are sedentary or high activity. So you want to go anywhere in between 14 to 16, 14 being low activity and then 16 being a pretty high activity. So I'm going to multiply mine by 16 because I do work out fairly frequently and I'm on my feet a lot, not during this quarantine, but when I am working. So it should come out to around 2,200 calories. And these are the calories you need to maintain. So if you want to maintain, this will be the calories you want to go off of. Okay, so now that we have the goal calories, our calorie intake, it's not the goal yet. We either want to decide if we want to cut or if we want to bulk. So for bulking, you can add a little bit more than if you want to cut. Cutting is going to be better if you go a little slower. So I am wanting to cut for the summertime. So I'm subtracting 200 for my starting calorie intake per day. So this is your calories per day. So this will be my goal calories. Okay, so starting with protein, I'm going to multiply our weight by either 0.8, a range of 0.8 or 1.1. So the 0.8 is if you have less lean body mass, and then the 1.1 is more if you're more muscular, so you need a little bit more protein. Usually I do 1 gram per pound of body weight. So it's basically like your body composition. So you want to base it off of that. And that is equal to 154 grams per calorie. Now we're trying to figure out how many calories it will take away from the day. So you multiply the 4 grams that we talked about earlier. So there's 4 grams in 1 calorie for protein. So we're multiplying it by the grams per calorie a day to get the 616 calories. So that's how many calories are taken out of your day from protein. Now we're moving on to fat. So you do the weight multiplied by 45%, which is how much fat I'm wanting to intake. So that gives us the 63 grams per calorie. We do the same thing that we did for protein, 9 grams times 63 to give us the calories taken out of our day there. Now that we have those calories, we're moving on to the carbs. So you're going to find the carbs by essentially adding those together and then subtracting it from your caloric intake a day. So the 2,040 calories that I have up there. So we're adding them together. And then we're subtracting the calorie intake a day from the protein and fat addition. So that's how many calories are taken out from carbs a day. And then we're going to do the same thing, except for now we are dividing it by the 4 grams to equal the 214. So 214 grams per calorie will be your intake of carbs. And then if this is too confusing, I have another way that I'm going to show you how I do it that's simpler. This is just like breaking it down piece by piece, and I feel like it's really helpful to draw out this chart. Okay, for this formula, you want to choose the percentages and you want to multiply it by your caloric intake per day for each carb and protein and fat. And then after that's done, we want to divide it by the grams that are in a carb, or in a calorie, sorry. So divide it by 4, and that gives you 229 grams per calorie. So this is just another way. It's not exactly the same as the other one, but you're not going to be super accurate. You're not going to be spot on every single time. So same with protein. I usually do, like I said, a gram per pound body weight. Some people like to do more. I really don't think it's necessary, but if you feel like you do, just because it makes my stomach hurt, like I said earlier. So yeah, we're getting there. And then all of these percentages need to add up to 100. All right, so I'm adding these up to equal 100%. So these are all of your grams that you're going to have in your app. So you can just plug them right in. Okay, guys, sorry for the fan going in the background, but I think you can hear me clearly. So going into the app, these are all of my days that I've plugged in. I eat a lot of added sugar, so I really need to work on that. But going to the home page now, or me page, you can go into the settings here. choose what you want, lose weight, maintain weight, gain weight, whatever you prefer. I just have maintain for now. If you have the premium set, you don't really need to have a goal set. You can just fix your own. So what I'm going into now is just my personal details, and you can't change these unless you have the premium. So I would suggest getting the premium. I'm doing 2,000 calories right now because I'm trying to cut, and then you can put in your weight each day if you want. I don't weigh myself every day, but sometimes I will here and there just to see my progress. It's not really about weight though. Then you can put, my birthday was wrong in there, so I changed my birthday. Yeah. Your age you can put in there as well, and then your height. I don't put in any exercises because it will F with your nutritional settings. So putting in my carbs, proteins, fat, all that I need in there. You can change it however you'd like. And I don't put in any water either. You can if you want to, but it's just, I know how much water I need to be drinking, so, and I'm a huge water drinker, but if you're not, maybe keep track of it. Yeah, these are just everything. You can connect it to your Apple Watch. I don't, just because, like I said, I don't track my exercises. You can connect it to your Facebook. And then those are the days that I choose to weigh myself. I just keep it all at the same weight though. I eat pretty much everything, so nothing's off on my, or everything's off on there. Tracking automatically. So this is what I was talking about. You can track your exercises if you want. Like I said, I don't, because it just messes up all of my personal settings that I made. If you already know what calories you are set, then you should be fine without logging in any exercises. Down here we have favorites. So these are meals. You can create your own recipes. I usually do put in the title. I'm just putting in random stuff right now. And then you can add a picture as well. Add any ingredients you want. It's really handy. You can search anything. You can barcode scan anything. And then you can put the instructions in there as well. And then it'll tell you how much carbs, protein, fat, calories. It's really, really handy if you want to be tracking your macros. And then you can add it to either like your dinner, a breakfast, lunch, dinner, if you want. So here's the recipe, one of the recipes I made. And then you go down to the bottom, all the carbs and everything. This is me tracking it. So you just click track. And then you can put it into dinner, put it into lunch, adding it to dinner right now. And then here's like favorite foods of mine that I have, like eggs, and you can favor them as well, which I'll show at the end of this. No exercises, like I said. This just shows you your average calorie intake. This is weekly, I believe, right now. You can see my average calories are a bit low. And then no water intake or exercises. 3 months, and then all of the calorie intake. I eat a lot of breakfast, guys. Okay, here's just a summary of weight loss, weight gain. Like I said, I don't weigh myself every day, so, and then all of this, I don't really pay that much attention to. I only use this app to count my calories, so you can do all this stuff if you want. If you're the type of person that likes to keep track of their weight, it would be helpful to you. This is one of the days, or was yesterday, I think. I'll show you a better day of mine. So this is almost right on the dot. I have 5 calories left.
nutrients, the distribution is perfect. It says I just have a lot of added sugar, like holy cow. So I really need to work on that, but it's nice to know all of these things so I can work on it later. So it'll help you out a little bit if you're wanting to track them, let you know what's in your food. Yeah, and it gives you sad face. I hate this stupid face. I hate this frowny face. It just makes me so mad. So helps you like the next day if you're not wanting that sad face. You can also look at like what's going on in each day as well. And then it also gives you tips every day too, what you need to do. Yeah, adding breakfast. I'm adding just random stuff right now, but adding that, you can search stuff, add that. You can also go in and change if you're weighing it to grams or ounces or milliliters, whatever you need to do. You can go into the food and change that. And I would suggest doing that because a serving size is very vague. So I weigh out all my food. This is the daily intake. Super nice to see all of this laid out. Makes it so much easier, helpful, progress, and shows you how many calories you need to eat that you haven't eaten today or whatever day you're eating. You can type in notes if you want, like goals or what you need to do for yourself. Mine would be not eating as much sugar, so yeah, super helpful. Now I'm going into the recipes button, and honestly, they have some pretty good recipes on here. They all look pretty complicated, honestly, and I'm not a cook, so I haven't tried a lot of them, but it does give you the calories and the macros. They're all set in there and you can just automatically track it. So it's really nice to have that in case you're not wanting to look up something on Pinterest or something. It's just in the app. So okay, and this is what I was talking about. You can favor. So I'm favoring blueberries right now, and it'll be in my favorites. So if I want to add food, just go to favorites, favorite food, blueberries, it'll be in your favorites. So it's nice to just be able to save the food that you have. Okay guys, hopefully this was informative. Like I said, if you have any comments or questions, please comment below, or you can message me through YouTube, I think. I haven't been on here too long, so, or you can message me through Instagram, which you can link through my YouTube. So I am going to enjoy the rest of the day. I hope you do too, and enjoy it with this little something's wrong with this cat, guys. Like, it's hella weird. So enjoy your day, you guys, and I will see you guys next time on my channel. Please subscribe, please comment, please like, give your girl a like. You can see these cats more often. I mean, look at him. How could you not love that face? Yes. Okay, bye you guys.